And welcome back from that very, very short break. We have our final series of the weekend. Alberta taking on SJSU Blue, two titans of collegiate Valorant, two of the best teams, regardless of the bracket, north, south, east, and west. These are two of the best. They are going to be facing off in one final best of 5. The winner will go on to land. They will punch their ticket, and the loser will end up playing against UBC to try to lock in that final spot. Should be a fantastic matchup coming up.
Yeah, and looking at these map pickups here, of course, being a best of 5, we get a little bit extra in the tank here. And my goodness, looking at these pick and bans here, it's very interesting to see how they sort of played this all out. One thing I want to point out, SJSU banning away that icebox makes a whole lot of sense. Alberta is 6-1 on that map. They've got a 62% round win rate throughout that. So just a mega performance on that. On the flip side, Alberta banning Ascent. They have not played Ascent this entire year. No matter what, throughout all these competitions, they have banned Ascent every single time. It's just one of those maps that they do not vibe with in that sense. But of course, Fracture being that first pick for Alberta makes a lot of sense. They are 5-0 on that across all competitions. They're also very confident on Pearl. They're 4-2 in that situation. But then you look further down the list, you get Haven later on in that series. They're 4-3. Bind, they actually have a negative win rate on that, 2-3 in that regard. And on the flip side, SJSU are 4-0. So just looking at some of those numbers, this is going to be back and forth. It's so difficult to find anything between these two teams. And I mean, I don't want to say it right away, but this is looking like we're going to get more than 3 maps at the very least, I feel. I think it's just, it's going to...
I would suspect so as well. It's like they took out the higher end of like, we're the best at this, got banned out. This team is the best at this, got banned out. They're going to have to meet somewhere in the middle, find that common ground, see who's going to be able to bust out maybe some kind of comp we haven't seen exactly. We're going to be seeing a lot of these new maps, which is definitely going to be a sight for sore eyes. We saw it in that last series. We saw Pearl, we saw Breeze, and we saw Fracture. Would love to see more of that. It looks like that is how things are going to shape out based on the maps that we saw. But both of these teams, so much riding on the line, having that best of 5 too. I wonder if teams are going to maybe start a little bit slower, or if they're going to go for that faster pace, realizing, okay, we have a lot more time to kind of make mistakes, but we can also maybe try to get ahead of the series, maybe try to get some momentum killers early on in this series and try to snowball that later on.
And realistically, with both of these teams being so well seasoned and everything, just such strong teams, I feel like they're ready to just go out from the get-go in game 1, round 1, ready to get in there and try and find their strategies, set the tone for the series in a lot of ways. I think that especially in a best of 5 situation, the mental game comes into it a lot earlier than you would expect. Even in map 1, if you're down, 10-2 or something at the half, it's going to be difficult to get your bearings about you, get back in the driver's seat, even for that map. And if you lose that map 13-2, you're feeling real bad going even into your own map pick, especially with both of these teams being so strong. So I think it's all about having that IGL just able to calm you down, having that one voice, or even in between, if you got your coach, if you got your manager, just saying, hey guys, listen, calm it down. We've got this. We've still got maps to play. We've still got a long way to go. That's really going to be important in these longer series, because in a best of 3, we've seen the tilt factor come into play as well. I think in a best of 5, it can be even more detrimental. You just got to hold your ground. And
especially, we talked about SJSU Blue. They are on that 3-game losing skid, and they haven't played particularly great in those 3 losses. There are something around the lines of like 13-6, 13-7. So they were a little bit competitive, but they weren't as nearly as competitive as they would have hoped to have been in those last few matches. You got to wonder, have they broken that mental streak? Can they get off that cold streak? Can they find their footing early on in this series? As you said, if things slip away from them early on, if they end up dropping map 1, say something like a 13-4 or 13-5, are they going to be like, okay, let's regroup, regain, let's come back even stronger? Or are they going to slip back into that mentality of, man, like, we cannot buy a win for ourselves right now?
Yeah, and of course, it's going to come down to these early maps as well. Once again, we're going to get Breeze here very early. It's so interesting to sort of see these change-ups come through in terms of the map pools. We were just so used to seeing, Bind Ascent Haven, Bind Ascent Haven, Bind Ascent Haven. Now we're just getting Breeze every single series, it seems, and I'm just super excited to see what these teams have at it. And of course, looking at the comps coming through, a little bit of a switch-up back and forth here, specifically SJSU, believe they're pulling out the Cypher here as opposed to the Chamber. So, we love ourselves some fun lineups there. Gonna be getting at least a couple, not only on the offense there with the Viper, the Sova, but also on that defense with the Cypher. But here we go on to round 1. Just starting off slow, making sure that they're playing default. Of course, we weren't going to get a first blood 10
Yeah,
seconds.
almost a little bit surprising. They did go for that Cypher. No chamber for the side of San Jose State. They're opting to go away from that hyper chamber meta. They think they have a much better play on this offensive side with this Cypher. They can maybe find a little more value in taking and controlling these sites, especially for Breeze. How many times did we say Josh Isler or multiple members earlier, just getting these disgusting flanks going unnoticed the entire time? Cypher is going to help you shut a lot of that down.
And I think especially in this early stages here, you don't want to give away too many of your lineups either. I think Chamber on defense is very strong, but Cypher's almost stronger than Chamber in a lot of ways because, you know, you get 2 trips, you've got 2 cages, you've got the camera, you've got so many different ways to sort of hold down a site. Where it comes that a lot of the time Cypher can solo hold sites, and it makes it so difficult for, you know, to contest the opposite side. But already Teddy going to be able to find one. Cypher's got, you know, some teeth behind him as well, going to be able to find that first.
Yeah, much more measured push out of this pistol round. We usually see some kind of 5v5 fiesta, but a much slower approach this time from SJSU. Khan is going to get this first plant off, can eat a shock dart for his trouble. Second one not going to find the mark. That spike did get planted though. Velocity, we talked about him in the pre-show. Such a dangerous player. Curry finding that kill over onto Khan. Velocity knows they're pinned in that corner. It's all on the Headhunter. He's going to try to find the first one. He's going to get some help over there from Shimmy, and Velocity's going to finish things off. That's going to be an easy pistol round win for U Alberta.
Yeah, and you know, once again, making the best out of all those health bars, making sure they're upgrading the pistols too. I like how thorough they're being in these rounds, just making sure that they're getting the best inventories possible so that they can take these fights to the next level. They know that every single credit counts when it comes down to it. I think U Alberta starting off strong here, keeping 4 members alive in that one as well. So, you know, they're definitely starting out on the right foot.
Yeah, exactly what you're looking for to kind of start out there. It's a very, very strong start for these guys. Alberta, we know how dominant this team is, and you said they're being very thorough with even the weapon checking. Both of these teams, they play the macro at such a high level. They're worried about the economy. They're worried about trying to maximize any dollars where they can find it. And right now, we're going to see Witter taking out that Marshall nice and early. Going to see Curry with that Guardian. So Breeze going to always opt for these longer range fights. And they're going to try to take that snowball this early lead and see what they can do.
Yeah, and I think that while we talked about Velocity's headshot rate, I think it was Curry or it was Witter there who had just another insane headshot rate, like 40% or something ridiculous like that. And already you can see the headshots coming down. Velocity finds a 2-piece for himself thus far. Teddy will be able to reply in kind. Cam gonna fall as well. And my goodness, just as quickly as the round started, it ends like that. U Alberta are here to play. They are not messing around here.
Environmentally friendly, planting that tree as well. Alberta, just like you said, they are not messing around. They are in this spot for a reason. A couple of these members, they have their eyes set on Brazil. Why not make it to the CVAL land as well? A picture perfect first 2 rounds for Alberta to come through.
And I think that talking to Alberta as well, they're one of those teams that really just want to dominate at everything that they do. It does not matter if it's Red Bull Campus Clutch, doesn't matter if it's Canadian Nationals, doesn't matter across a whole bunch of different situations. They want to win everything. They want to be one of those collegiate teams that has the same level of prestige as someone like SJSU Blues. So it's really interesting to sort of see the dichotomy of it, not only across countries, but also just across how long these programs have been around. Of course, U Alberta, technically a newer team here, of course, with a couple of new players coming through, such as Velocity. SJSU having a couple of switch-ups as well to their roster in the last little bit, but, you know, it's all about that prestige at the end of the day. Seems like we're going to get a little bit of a tech pause here, though. Just going to make sure everyone's PC is okay. Got to make sure that we're all fired up.
Yeah, had to check in PC, but on the respectful side, got to make sure everything's going to be all good for these players. Very, very high stakes game. You don't want anything to slip through the cracks there. Players affectionately calling for some plays in that chat as well. Just having some fun in between.
Yeah, drop and Tilted Towers. Let's go.
We're going to Tilted Towers. We're trying to find that gold scar. Both these teams, though, having a little bit of fun in the lobby. It's always good to see when teams can have that little friendly banter back and forth, see exactly what's going to be going on. But the anticipation for both these teams now, Alberta having that 2-0 lead, trying to hold serve as best as possible. SJSU Blue going to try to see if they can find an answer in this 3rd round when it comes up shortly.
Yeah, and for the time being, you know, we actually get a little bit more time to take a deeper look into these teams. And I mean, having done these questionnaires, we get to look at some of the answers that they had. And I mean, looking at how the history of the team, how all of these teams got together. One to point out here is specifically SJSU. You know, they had a little bit of help from club admin Winston Adams, as we saw in that earlier part, but they also had some help from a member who's currently a part of Evil Genius's Kudo as well. Made the team during 2020 in the beta. You know, while everyone was stuck at home, they were making teams, they were making those money moves. And thus far, I mean, this SJSU program has just been absolutely fantastic at that. And I mean, they've been improving, changing, lots of graduating players. That's the main thing that you've got to worry about at the collegiate level. You have to make sure that you are doing in the best situation.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick little break here, try to get the stream, get all those tech issues ironed out, but we will be back very, very shortly for you guys. 2-0 Alberta lead, but we'll catch more after the break.
Down mid. I know exactly where you are. Last player standing. Spike planted.
there, but I think just under the pressure there in the 1v2 situation with only the operator in tow, going to be a little bit more difficult. But, you know, this is how rich the side of you, Alberta, are. Another operator already picked up. A pretty disgusting angle here from Velocity, a little bit of an off angle on top of that wall. Really looking to try and find anyone possible if they do opt to go for this B push.
Yeah, that A Viper pit probably going to dissuade the push, at least for a little bit, although maybe SJSU having second thoughts. Yeah, that Viper pit going to be nice up in front. They are going to swing back toward this middle area, though. Maybe going to decide to try their luck at A here. Maybe thinking, hey, maybe only the Viper will be playing that pit, because usually you're going to see Viper will either play that pit alone or maybe with one other teammate. So if you're able to rush through that thing and get to the back side of it, you might be able to set yourself up for a nice play. But there's that snake bite molly. There's going to be that KO nade. They're going to stall out this push, and they're going to call for help and get some setup.
Right here.
Yeah, and the Viper pit going to last still for a long time, so they're not going to try and tempt that one. Just going to hop back in, refuel it up, and now a little bit of a rotation coming through. This entire time, we've seen Velocity patient, staying on B, refusing to relent from that situation, knows that if they're in a retake situation, they might have a little bit of a better shot, but they have to go through this Viper's pit. This is so scary. They need to try and find where Shimmy is, otherwise Shimmy's going to have an absolute field day here. Bolt destroyed. It's come down to 1 HP. They're going to be able to make it through onto site here, but they don't have a whole lot of time. Shimmy going to find one. Atlas going to find another one. They was able to trade it back. There goes another one for Zig with a 2K coming through. They need to find a spike. Put it down as well. Atlas going to find the shots onto Thigworm as well. Now Winner coming through from the side. It is only John Ham to try and save it. Not even going to give him a chance. The Hunter's Fury comes through. Winner picks up another kill for themselves. And you, Alberta, off to the races.
Yeah, they are still looking so damn strong. All 5 of these members are able to get the job done. Atlas, even though he's not getting it in the kills, we have seen multiple times he's gotten 2 or 3 members with those recon tags, just giving boatloads of information over to these absolute assassins in Curry, Shimmy, and Velocity. And even Winner now, 7 and 5 on that Jet. Just a super consistent team overall. That economy still in a very good spot. If SJSU Blue drops this round, they're going to be in for a very, very tough long road back to the top here.
Yeah, and interesting to see that they were opting to just buy the Vandal, no shield. This is even riskier, you know. In that situation, there's no math behind it. You get hit by 3 body shots, you're donezo. Even leg shots are going to be doing a decent chunk too at that point, but Velocity already posted up here. Of course they land the first shot. Never in doubt they were going to be taken off the table. That top frag for SJSU going to be a non-factor. Velocity spots out part of the armor there from Khan, but it's going to be Curry finding another one. Oh, John Ham could actually find that with the Bulldog and Velocity.
Yeah, that was pretty much mid-TP too. That timing was everything for that Bulldog shot. Luckily able to find it, but they still do not have access to this A site quite yet. Alberta has done a great job of kind of spacing out this defense. Now they have that rotation coming through double doors. They have Winner to come support them now. Flash going to get popped out there. Chem trying to find the timing. Bunch of members stomping around in that water. Winner's going to spot Winner, takes out Chem. John Ham going to answer. Khan with that operator he freshly received as well, finding that kill. Recon Bolt trying to gather some information, but they will find this plan.
All about that post plant. Oh, Khan just through the wall there. To be able to find that one. Atlas just trying to seek out where anyone is. Has to play so careful around Orange here. The Pyramids providing great cover, but where is he going to come from? Atlas finds one. Khan needs to find the shots. It won't be the case. Atlas needs a map. Finds both of them. Gonna claim that one for himself. Gonna pick up the operator as well. You, Alberta, my goodness.
Yeah, Atlas had the world on his shoulders and had Alberta on his shoulders for that last round. Excellent job to clutch that one up. We saw Khan, 2 great operator shots, one through that Viper wall as well. He was really putting in work, but Atlas, he had the timing, he had the positioning. What we talked about, the frags aren't jumping off the page for him, but he's finding so many ways to find value one way or the other. This economy now, it's going to be a decent enough buy for SJSU, but it's not going to be the buy you're really looking for. You do have that Cypher, you have the Neural Theft, and you have the Hunter's Fury, but can you find some way to combo it together? You've seen a couple Guardians come out as well. They're trying to force here, and going into halftime, I can understand the reasoning, but you might find yourself down 10-2 if you blow this round.
Yeah, I think it's really important that they try and find this round and maybe just catch them off guard with their purchases as well. But look at this double peak. Winner holding the high ground, Shimmy holding the low ground. You know that they want to find as much as they can. The KO knife going to be dodged out by a couple of members there. I believe Viper still got caught up in that one, but they were just tries to land anything that they can. Going to be able to find it for the time being, at the very least, buying themselves time and nest. But look at all the rotations coming over. Sova trying to make their play, and now going to be moving over towards this A site. Now this Chamber with so much money in the back pocket, gonna pop that tour de force as well. Kind of gonna find that kill on to Curry, and now the neural theft comes through.
Gonna tag up these enemies, try to get the advantage on this round. This is a round they pretty much have to have, I would say, tour de force. Bringing out with the Knight. Big Warp, though, gonna shut that one down before it stands. Shimmy trying to find the re-trigger, but these Guardians and these Vandals are just too damn much. And a flawless coming through for SJSU. That is exactly what they were looking for.
Yeah, exactly what the doctor prescribed there. They did not want to buy a shield, didn't have the money for it at that point. But now everyone going to be topped up. Shimmy actually going to be the one who does not have a... Okay, they're rotating them around, just trading skins and everything, making sure everyone is all topped up. But are going to be that one with the light shields this time around. So not the ideal buy from the side of Alberta, but they've got so much in tow right now. They can pick up that 9th round. It's all going to come down to the curse. Once again, we haven't seen it come to fruition quite yet. We have seen a couple of close calls, so maybe that is what SJSU may have to bank on. But of course, I think they'd prefer.
I was going to say, do you take the 8-4 or do you try to play for the curse at 9-3? I think they're going to take the 4. Big Werb seems to agree. Operator and Bladestorm ready and willing to go. The angle, the timing. Oh, he just looks away at the wrong time. That Operator is going to be down. Oh, that's going to be a couple kills coming through. John Hamm with a big answer, though. That Null Command still online as well. They have a Hunter's Fury and a Viper Pit, so lots of offensive utility here. There's that Hunter's Fury, trying to find any of these members out behind that orange crate. Trying to find Atlas. Khan, though, working on this flank. The timing is going to be his. Atlas falls. Shots over to Double Door. One is going to fall as well. We are into a 2v2. That Viper Pit ready, but Shimmy is on a disgusting angle and Cave. Finds the first one. Timing not going to go his way. He will end up surviving. Now all onto Witter to try to stop this plant and win this round.
Yeah, and it actually seems as if the KO is trying to move around a little bit more here, not wanting to give away too much. Khan, if they can find the angle, if they can find the quick peek, that's what they're trying to do. Maybe catch Witter off guard here. Gonna maybe fake a plant. No, gonna go in between the pyramids there. Does Witter know? Do they have the information? They're gonna get a peek, but it doesn't matter. Khan finds the 3K. It's going to be a couple rounds to close out the half of the side of SJSU and maybe getting a little bit of momentum back.
They definitely had to have that one, being down 9-3, especially with how Alberta has been playing. I mean, look at these kills already. We talk about if 5 members get to double digits, usually it is a very, very well-rounded game. 4 of them are already there, and Atlas has made so many great plays on the Sova. There's not really a lot of big flaws in their game so far. SJSU just made a ton of really good executions. They're able to kind of find these angles, catch some really good timing. Now, though, can they snowball that into this second half? Can they improve upon what they weren't able to do so well in that first little bit?
And of course, it's going to be a little bit of a different look. Chamber on the attack sometimes can struggle. And you can see Velocity opting for that goes no Hunter bullets. They're just a little bit too expensive for this round one. Nonetheless, very curious to see how they proceed through here. And of course, that Cypher holding down one site by themselves for the time being. Actually going to hard peek through elbow here, try and find as much information as possible. And that camera actually clearing out mid as well. So as you can see, Teddy has the download on how to set up these chambers, or these Cypher sites, sorry, making it really difficult. And that Tripwire going to catch Witter out. Shots coming down. Teddy going to find their
Teddy using a beautiful cage there. Kem going to be on the backside of that as well. That's going to be a second kill going over to SJSU. Atlas is going to find that spike plant. Curry getting those pop flashes ready, trying to see if he can find one of these members. Kem and Khan both working over on that backside. Teddy and John Hamm working over here. They're going to find one. John Hamm going to answer that one back into this 4v2. One back in next as well. Big Werb just being a thorn in the side. He is going to find a kill. Kem is going to wrap things up, and that's going to be number 5 for SJSU.
Yeah, and a good snake bite at that, just directly on the spike, knowing that they didn't really have any other options to go. And SJSU, as you mentioned, that momentum is going to be so important. We saw Alberta were just able to get out to a really hot start, but now 3 rounds in a row across the half there. One back in favor of the side of SJSU. And with a team with as much experience as SJSU, you know that they're not just going to roll over and die easily like that. They're going to give it their best fight, and that's exactly what they've done in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, they're finally giving back. They're finally biting back. We're seeing that team that we thought was one of those perennial collegiate top teams. They're doing such a good job now. But now the tricky thing is you have to keep this ball rolling as much as possible. We're going to see a whole lot of sheriffs coming through from Alberta. We know how deadly they are with that in that aim department. They're going to have to find some way to maybe create these unfair fights. But SJ has a little bit of a decent buy here. A couple of those SMGs, they're going to be looking to take this one over.
Curious to see what they opt to go for. Witter, though, with that, Marshall going a little bit more aggressive than you'd expect on one of these quote-unquote save rounds. Maybe just trusting in their aim at that. They just going to keep moving forward with what they can, but these snake bites are so detrimental every single time. Just dropping down some damage across the team, and that's going to be something you've got to keep in mind. Curry won't have that, Witter won't have that available. Just won't be able to survive as many shots as Velocity just gets head tapped.
Yeah, that's going to be an early kill over to SJSU. Thigworb on the back line with that Bulldog.
Yikes.
Shimmy going to be none the wiser. Second spray going to be found.
One
It's going to be
enemy
all
remaining.
left onto Jet. Witter, the
Spike
lone
down
man,
mid.
finding that Marshall headshot. That's all he's going to find. Teddy's going to find his head, and SJSU is going to find 6.
Yeah, and now it's 4 rounds in a row in Alberta. They've got to sort of slow down the pace of the game, sort of get themselves back in the right headspace in a lot of ways. Light shields across the board here as they try to do I don't want to say a force necessarily, but just a little bit of a heavier anti-eco going the opposite way. And now you see Shimmy still going for that Phantom. Big Phantom fan here, even on a Breeze where it's normally seen as the inferior gun, but nonetheless, light shields as well, so in case anyone has that Vandal coming through, they would be able to do that same sort of math trick there. The other thing about the Phantom is that with damage drop-off, sometimes you can survive 4 shots if it's from a long distance with those light shields. You live on 1 HP, but I mean, that's all
Exactly.
you need.
1 HP in a dream. How many times have we seen it? That is a very good shot there as well, trying to get some of that early chip damage. Double cloud burst for Witter, trying to navigate. A couple kills back and forth, though. Eddie and Khan picking up those last 2. Shimmy, great job to turn to that right side, find that headshot, but once again, all on Shimmy.
Spike
He's
down
not really going to
A.
have that time. John Hamm, exactly, right up the flank there. That's going to be another one for SJSU, and don't blink now. We almost have a tie game on our hands.
Yeah, and it was looking really grim there. 8-2 for the side of Alberta. Now, it's 5 rounds in a row for the side of SJSU Blue to get themselves back in the driver's seat a little bit here. And this is something that I've seen a lot come through from Alberta. They're going to have a relatively safe save round across the board, but Shimmy's going to go for something like a Guardian. Sometimes it goes towards Curry as well. They pick up a Guardian. They just want to see what they can do with it. And then they sort of rotate that around. A couple of Sheriffs, of course. And Alberta, they just want to try and make sure that this bonus round, so to speak, is not as free as possible. And I mean, that Guardian definitely going to make that happen. If you can land the headshots, then you are golden in those situations. And with these light shields, can only survive 2 shots from the Guardian as opposed to
They do have that neural theft as well, so if SJ can find one of these early picks, they could potentially snowball that into much, much more. They're going to leave that spike back in that middle side of that attacking side spawn. They're going to take a lot of control up toward this middle area, up toward that balcony. John Hamm. Oh, they saw the wrist. They saw the little wrist rocket. They can get those pings out there. They are spotting John Hamm over and over, but Thigworb was there to hold that bait, sitting on top of tower. He's going to drop off, stay alive here, Witter, popping off some shots, but they're going to end up losing one in the fight.
And if you can see, we're just trying to hold any angle possible. Finds a shot that's going to be 1-on-1 Delta. Oh, headshot on the crouch as well from Thigworb. Might not have been the best situation to crouch bait that guy. Velocity going to find another headshot. Overkill at that. And now the spike going to be planted on this B site. 3 versus 3, of course, as you mentioned, the neural theft is available. Will they be able to find value out of it?
There is a dead body in that middle, kind of toward that elbow area. They might be able to find one. Witter, though, why not 2 more double headshots? Kem and Khan both falling to his hands. Velocity going to go down to Teddy, though, trying to clutch things up in this 1v3. He's got Curry and he's got Witter to deal with. 2 excellent players. It's all going to be in the timing. It's going to be Curry. That's going to be a thrifty for Alberta. They're able to break that 5 streak of SJSU. That's going to be exactly what they were looking for.
If I'm powered down, restart me.
Yeah, a little bit of a change up there. Of course, able to find a lot of shots. And I think the Guardian didn't really get the value that we were expecting. But on the flip side, great value coming through from that Marshall. It all comes down to that first kill, able to pick up the Vandal afterwards and find 2 more for themselves. And then while there was that retake attempt coming through, just not quite enough in the tank for Teddy. Did not have the firepower necessary.
Yeah, just didn't have quite the firepower you were looking for. Alberta, they do take that next round. And now we're going to see which team is going to blink first here. What is going to break first? We're going to see it 9-7. We do have that back and forth game that we were expecting. Alberta, they have dominated this first half of the game. SJ, though, they were able to hold on to that neural theft at least. Didn't end up getting wasted, but Alberta looking to make their push here, trying to get some information through these double doors and see what might be the best approach.
And it just seems as if they love pushing up mid here. They're so confident doing so. I think we're going to take a shot for their trouble. The operator not even going to land onto anyone, even through the wall. So I think he's got to be a little bit careful here in terms of rotating around with that operator. Of course, as we mentioned, long corridor is going to be your best option. Long angles, you don't want to be getting up close and personal there. Cam, though, just holding whatever angle they can in nest here. Just sort of wide peeking it here. Jiggle peeking a little bit. Well, it comes down to where Witter is as well. You can see just tucked up against that wall. Might start to make that march forward here. Try to find a little bit of an angle play. And unfortunately for Chem, he might just miss out on this timing here. Yep, turning around at the wrong moment. And Witter's just going to get in without any issue. Now coming in from the side is Velocity. Curry picking up 2 for themselves. Curry finds a second in their favor. Now Witter already way in the back line here. Does not matter. It's just down to John Hamm here. 1v5 situation. Going to have to make some magic happen. Will not be the case. Velocity lines.
Yeah, that's a big round for Alberta. They are starting to try to take that stranglehold back over SJSU Blue here. They have that Null Command, that Tour de Force, and the Blade Storm. 3 devastating ultimates, depending how you want to use them. Couple ultimates on that side for SJ as well, but they're trying to find these frags and get back in this game. This buy going to be a little bit of a mixed bag here. They are going to be able to put together some rifles, but again, those light shields going to be on a few of those members. Chem going to switch over to that Marshall. Meanwhile, Alberta, nice and healthy in the economy department. Shimmy on that lone Phantom. The rest of those members macked and stacked Vandals full armor.
Just going to try and continue to push forward with those advantages. You can see this time turning up the pace once again. Definition of these Valorant teams is just how quickly they can change their strategies. If they want to go high tempo, if they want to rotate around, if they want to play for picks, they're able to do so at all levels. Shimmy gonna get caught up with a little bit of gunfire on the opposite side. I think that might have been like an Ares or something coming through on the opposite side. Might have just been the Vandal spray. Sounded a little bit different, but Con gonna find the kill on the Shimmy, so at the very least that Viper gonna be offline. Witter gonna be taken down as well. Con finds a second onto Atlas, and now Velocity deep on site finds one for themselves, teleporting out, and now it's gonna be difficult to hold the line. She pushes 4, but it's another headshot coming through for Velocity. It's just a little bit, now they trying to hold the line for themselves. Curry, they have the aim, not this time. Cam gonna shut
Yeah, beautiful job by SJ to play that retake game, hold serve, not really panic. Even though that spike is planted, they had lots of time to come make a play. Just send the cavalry. They did just that. They find a couple of frags. Velocity landed a nice shot or 2 as he usually does, but the teamwork of SJ too much in that round. They're still trying to keep this thing in striking distance.
Yeah, you got to just keep this game close at the very least. You know, within 2 rounds, that's one good buy round and able to shut them down on the next one. John Hamm, though, should be thrown around. Yep, there we go. I think we're going to give over that Vandal. So, going to be pulling out the knives this round. But on the flip side, look at how many ultimates are available. Atlas is the only one who does not have their own ultimate. For the side of UA, has the orb available, so we might have 5 ultimates coming down. If you Alberta want to put the hurt down, they will do that with those ultimates this round if they so desire.
Big Orb opted to pop that Blade Storm at the start of this round, see what he can find in that middle area. Taking a quick peek over at elbow there, but the rest of this Alberta team stacking up A side. Null Command gonna go through. Cloudburst dash. John Hamm, though, right ready to read that play, shuts it down. Null Command still popping. Blade Storm kill onto Velocity. Curry gonna trade that one back. Curry still trying to work the backside of this pyramid. Teddy, though, making a great read, cutting this down to a 4v2. All gonna be on Atlas now. A man, a recon dart, and a dream. Not gonna be found, though. Teddy gonna shut that one down, and SJ 1 round off tying this game up.
Yeah, the movement coming down from Teddy, doing a great job of just jiggling around, making sure that they aren't getting shot down in any situation. Of course, Velocity at that top of the damage table right now. But on the flip side, Thigwerb 19 and 13. Both of our highlighted players are just carrying for their teams right now. It just comes down to if you Alberta can sort of recenter themselves here. 4 ultimates available. They've still got the tools to provide. And with that lead, they just have to do anything that they can. We mentioned that the series, not likely to be a 3-gamer at that. I mean, thus far, even in this map 1, it's very close despite a very slow start.
Exactly. Maybe they're just one of those slow starters. Oh, Thigwerb, though, nothing slow about that start. He goes, finds Curry, takes that headshot. That's going to be an early man advantage. All these ultimates of Alberta, do they want to try to combo these to try to take back this round? Do they maybe try to play a little more conservative? They have that man disadvantage. Shimmy, though, he's going to equalize things just like that. Neither KO going to be present for the rest of this round. Shimmy, though, alive and well, kicking around near cave here. Found that second kill onto Chem, and now Thigwerb trying to see if he can catch the timing. Almost shoulder to shoulder here. Will they make a move here? Very curious. Thigwerb, though, just being very, very intent with how he looks at everything.
Yeah, just stance up right now. Thigwerb doesn't want to push their luck, I guess, so to speak. They want to make sure that they're holding the angle because they can just find a shot like that. My goodness. Thigwerb finds 1, finds 2. That's the 3rd kill of the round. Going to take a little bit of a moonwalk as well. And Velocity, last one on the site, is going to be taken down. Witter just needs to find anything that they can at this point. Moving around, got the knives out. Going jet v jet. Thigwerb just going to walk away from that one. Does not need to force the agenda here. Granted, has that spike available. B site is completely clear, but they do not know that. Teddy taking the walk. This could be going down to their doom. The barrel is pointed out, and now here goes Witter. Are they going to be able to get on site in time?
I'm not sure exactly. That Blade Storm, though, Witter trying to find out something right now. Checking over in Cave here. Gonna get this spike plant at least with just a few seconds to play. It's gonna be on to this 2v1. Both these members stacking up through double doors. This might be the play Witter's looking for, but he does not have any information right now. His back is turned to these two members. He has no idea what is waiting in the wings behind him. Just mere feet on the other side of this orange crate. They're going to split push. Look at all these members back to back. Quite literally back to back. He's now going to get the diffuse noise. Oh, he finds its timing. The diffuse gets unstuck. Oh, and the quick Witter. No fear in his heart. This man clutches up the 1v2. The Blade Storm paying dividends in Alberta. They're going to take their 11th.
What a crazy round from Witter there. You know, basically back up against the wall, as you were mentioning, 1v3 situation, but you know they got that dog in him. They got those dashes to go in, and of course the knives playing a pivotal role there. Able to find sort of Teddy not checking corners. You know, when you're walking through spawn, you gotta be careful. You don't know where that Jet can be. She can get so much space so quickly, you know, updrafts and everything, so much movement in that kit. And then they were going for that defuse, unfortunately caught off guard a little bit, hiding behind orange. Once again, not clearing out the whole site, paying the price for that in kind. And now 11 for the side of UL Alberta. They're going to try and continue this push forward. They've still got ultimates in the inventory.
Yeah, Velocity on that tour de force, potentially the most dangerous man in all of collegiate Valorant, trying to see if he can find some value, get Alberta over onto 12 here without having to burn that Viper pit, or trying to keep that Hunter's Fury in that back pocket. Witter still fighting for mid control here with some of the squad. Chem sitting up on the top of that door, waiting to see if it's going to be that A execute, or if they're going to maybe waddle over to B site and try to deal with all that Cypher lineup. But this Spike right now just currently sitting on that attacking side spawn to see what's going to happen. Look at Shimmy, though, always trying to make something happen. Gets spotted out, though. That is a great read by Chem.
Yeah, Shimmy just gets caught doing the gritty there. Going to be able to find the kill on that one, but now pushing towards this B site. Should they know about this wire? Will get spotted out. Going to shoot that one down, but here comes the execute. Nonetheless, that cloudburst going to go down at the worst time possible. It's going to be one picked up by Chem from behind. Finding that one, and Atlas once again, the world on his shoulders, as he mentioned, not going to be able to find it this time. Crumbles under the weight of everything. Going to be a 10th round for SJSU, and
if you're not a good shot
goodness,
today,
I did not expect this half to be going this way. It was 8-4 at the half. You know, there was an 8-2 lead at one point here for the side of UL Alberta, and it seems as if SJSU, they got that kick of energy just coming in. You know, they had a couple of coffees before and took that 20 minutes, and then now they're all, let's go. Just need to get themselves another round here, tie this one up, and my goodness, we might be going to overtime on map 1.
Listen,
I want to.
We may be garbage at predicting things, but Thigworb and Velocity are two key highlight players before this match.
Hey.
Currently both sitting at the top of that leaderboard. Thigworb up to 24 kills. Those two members, oh, I thought we were going to get a nice duel there in that tunnel, but Thigworb going to take his operator elsewhere. He's going to find the angle, and he's going to find Witter in that middle area. That is a massive kill. Thigworb has been so good this series so far.
Yeah, and it's just Thigworb being able to bounce back from a little bit of a slow start. Nonetheless, Curry trying to find the shots. Unfortunately, the recoil coming down, not quite going to be the case. Shimmy with that arcane sheriff, not going to be able to find it either. Teddy finds a couple for themselves, and now it is all down to Velocity. If anyone's going to 1v5, it's going to be him. Finds one. Took a couple of bullets for that one. Oh, takes a little bit of fall damage as well, and that actually ends up being pivotal, because now it's only 3 shots from the Vandal to take him down. The light shields not quite doing their job at that point. Velocity just trying to hold the line as much as possible. Just find any sort of exit frags here. I believe that's John Hamm posted up there, trying to find the angle. Heard the sound. Oh, baby. You gotta find a second shot. Oh, man, Velocity. This is so...
Thought maybe he'd get that rifle, and then maybe he could make a play, because that headhunter only had 3 or 4 bullets left in it, but they read it like a book. And don't blink, folks. We have a tie game, 11-11. Overtime looking all the more possible at this point. That is going to be a very stacked buy coming through from SJSU. It's going to be a very solid buy from that Alberta side as well, but if SJSU is able to win this round, that Alberta economy plus these ultimates, man, I'll tell you what, they might be looking like they're going to be in some trouble.
Yeah, and just sort of a twist of fate at that. Not quite the second half that Alberta's been looking for, but nonetheless, there's still a decent amount of Valorant to be played, at least before we consider overtime. These 2 rounds going to be absolutely pivotal. Effectively, overtime rounds in their own right. You want to win 2. Just want to win out this game. You want to find any way possible. KO knife. Gonna stall things out for the time being, but look at where Velocity is. Taking a little bit of a stroll around B, just working. Looking for anything possible, and this Sova there from Chem needs to be so careful because we know what Velocity can do with that Headhunter. Turn a 90, drop a bullet right into the brain. That might just be what they're
feels
looking
like one
for.
of those legendary AI in a stealth game. The second he sees you, you get punished, and then it is back to that checkpoint. He is still patrolling over this B. He's going to be that one man to meander toward that Viper's Pit. See if he wants to actually challenge it. Shimmy going to use this life orb to try to get up through tunnel here. So many members stacked up at A. 45 seconds left in the round. I don't think we've heard a shot yet. We do hear a Blade Storm, though. Going to be popped and ready now. Witter trying to stack up here, see if they can find Teddy. Teddy doing some information collection. Sova going to send out some darts of his own, though. Teddy still holding tight in this corner. 30 seconds now to push.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, now Witter just going to go right on to site on cue with the timer, but Con Chem have found two for themselves. Witter and Atlas going to be able to reply in kind. Sova Ultimate's going absolutely everywhere. Lasers aplenty. But look at where all the members of SJSU are. They're on the wrong side of the map. They've read this wrong.
And Alberta has their own Viper Pit if they decide to want to invest that one. That Blade Storm still going to be online. Oh, but the timing, Shimmy is going to make a huge play. He cuts the head off of the snake, takes out Thigworm, and now it's going to be all onto one. John Hamm not going to find it. Atlas finding that 3K in Alberta. They find a massive round, and they get to keep the Viper's Pit. 1 HP indeed, and the Viper's Pit now going to be ready. Only that Neural Theft online for Teddy. Alberta, they're definitely going to have the advantage in that ultimate department, but this spy, Shimmy, he should be able to get gifted a Vandal. I was going to say hook the brother up. Velocity going to have that operator map point for Alberta.
Yeah, and this is a big round because you can see Witter can pull out those knives as well at will, and we've seen what they're able to do with that Jet ultimate. So devastating, and despite a pretty lackluster second half, I want to say, from the side of Alberta, they didn't need to have a lustrous one at that. They just needed 5 rounds. They found 4 for themselves. Can they find that 5th on the offense here? Are they going to be able to push that forward? Does not seem like they want to do that towards the A site, but at the very least, Witter with those knives out, going to be oh so dangerous.
Yeah, always a threat with those knives, especially we know how good of a player he is. Trying to see if he can find, one tick onto Thigworm. Again, cutting the head off of the snake of SJSU. That is the one player you know they're happy to find, and finding that single knife headshot. He's going to get that quick little refresh, and A site is going to be theirs for the taking. They almost have control of double doors as well. If they just want to commit to this push, they have that Cypher utility to try to play up against, but that is a massive advantage, and they have their own Viper Pit. If they can get onto that site, it is going to be a nightmare for SJSU to play retake here.
You can see those wires are just sort of put into the ground. So difficult to find out where exactly those lineups are coming from. Witter looking for more. There's going to be Chem finding the shock dart down. Velocity finds another one. Who's winning this one out? It's 2v2. It's going to be Witter finding another one, and now all down to John Hamm with that.
30 seconds left.
And going to be able to find the spray down. A rare miss from Velocity, but now John Hamm versus Witter here. Spike is not yet placed. Hamm has to find the lineups here. No utility in, though. It all comes down to a 50-50. Which side of the pyramid are they on? John Hamm, you've got to find the head. You've got to find Witter here.
Oh.
Can they do it? Oh my goodness, it's so tense.
Witter, he is. Oh, John Hamm finds it. 4K to save the game. We are now going to go into overtime on map 1. This best of 5 delivering early on. Alberta dominating first half. However, SJSU, they battle back. Thigworm gets taken out early in the round. It doesn't matter. John Hamm, 4K clutch. Overtime, we go on to Breeze.
We had a 30-minute tech pause during this, right? Approximately, just trying to figure everything out, and now we're going to overtime. Longest game one ever at this point. Gonna be interesting to see how this one plays out. Still a lot of Valorant potentially to be played, and of course, look at all these buys. Vandals aplenty. Everyone's picking one up. 10 Vandals, 10 full shields. They want to try and find this victory, but honestly, Alberta looked really strong on this defense here. We'll see if that remains the case. You know, defense has been the one to hold 2/3 of these rounds thus far, and now it just comes down to who can show up at the right time. SJSU definitely have turned their fates back, potentially almost in their favor. I don't know if they got the momentum going for them anymore. Velocity, they're just going to have to get way out of there.
Yeah, he got tagged up on that Cypher cam. That would have been a very dangerous place to be. And oh, information exchange winner though. Reading that one like a book, taking out Thigworm. Little Viper v Viper action on the other side though. John Ham and Teddy good for 2. And SJ has turned this one on its head. They're now gonna find this plant over at B. They're gonna get some info as well. Curry gonna try to drag his team back into this game. Velocity and Curry, maybe the 2 players you're looking to win out this round. Off shot maybe gonna be found through the wall. They're 8 HP left for Velocity and a great Cypher cage to slow things up.
Oh, yeah, the Molly as well, just going to force the angles, and it's all down to this. Curry, though, going to be able to find a kill for themselves. Still relatively healthy, but between them, they've got maybe 2-3 bullets worth of hits to take. Velocity trying to hold the angles. Oh, Teddy going to be able to peek that one. And it's all down to Velocity. Will he be able to find it? Oh, just barely catches a shoulder, but they don't need to push the op. They don't need to force the agenda. Teddy with the 4K. And SJSU bringing it back from 8-2 down.
Switching
now
sides.
on map.
Yeah, we're going to see a timeout now being called from University of Alberta. They're realizing now, hey, things are in the dire straits. We really need to get back on our horse. We have to find this round. Overtime match point for SJSU. Nobody would have thought, based on what we saw early in this match, that they would be in this point. But here they are, finding 4Ks off the backs of multiple members, back to back to back, finding ways to string these rounds together. And that's all you have to do. You just have to focus, bunker down, and execute. And man, the second half of this game, they have out-executed the hell out of Alberta.
Yeah, and it's been a big turnaround. I mean, partially maybe because of the defensive half, they had a little bit more of an advantage with the Cypher specifically. Cypher doesn't do a whole lot on that offensive half unless you just drop a 4K, you know, able to pick that up for themselves. Teddy showing up when it matters most. And now on map point here, every single map point matters at this point. You know, you want to try and collect these maps for yourself. You need to push forward the advantage here. I think here for the side of you, Alberta, they just need to hold the line. They need to make sure that they are clutching it out when it matters most, and that is exactly what is going through here. Full buys on both sides. Velocity going back to the Vandal. We'll see if they're able to find as much success as they did through a lot of these rounds. It just comes down to one.
Exactly. It all comes down to one. Alberta now going to be feeling a lot of that pressure. Atlas definitely going to be feeling that weight. 9-18 right now. He had a very stellar first half. Has struggled a little bit in this second half to kind of pick things up and help support his team en route to finding these rounds and stringing this game together. Looks like B might be the preference, at least for the time being. Going to see a couple members of Alberta up in this elbow area. Look at that Cypher setup on B, though. Just so much utility to deal with. It's an absolute spider web of information they have to try to fight through. That owl drone going to sneak its way through that middle area. Not going to find anything. Both these teams, you can tell the tension. They're waiting for someone to make that first move and see if they can react on it.
The rotations. Yeah, getting onto site here. Witter not even going to hit a tripwire this time around. Clears out that camera. Doesn't know where the wires are, but John Ham Chem already going to be able to find 2. Chem finds a second. Witter, though, going to show up here. It's all down to the Jet. Will Witter be able to do it for the 1? No, it will not be the case. SJSU complete the comeback on map 1 for the record, and they take
Yeah, map 1 for the record. A nice little anecdote to add. We had to go to overtime on our first map, and we saw a great comeback in the mains of that as well. Such a good series. Thigworm 27-18, just absolutely popping off. Almost at 300 ACS. Witter and Velocity both played so well on the other side. It just wasn't enough. And this side of SJSU, they were on that 3-game losing streak. That is a thing of the past now. You know they are feeling good. They have this 1-0 lead. Just 2 more maps, and they are going over to LAN.
Yeah, they have turned over a new leaf, so to speak, but there's still more Valorant to be played here. Of course, Alberta, they had a very strong first half. I mean, 8-2 lead, that is mega for them, but unfortunately, they just weren't able to keep that momentum going, and that is what this game is all about. At the end of the day, you need to make sure that you keep that momentum going, and I think that timeout at the end there, maybe not necessarily for that round specifically, although it would help in setting up some strategies and everything to make sure you aren't going to the Wolves there, but nonetheless, might just be a case of, listen, calm down. Worst case, it's map 1. We still got our map picks to go as well. So nonetheless, we are going to take a short break here while we get set up for map number 2. But these two teams duking it out already. SJSU up 1-0.